Hello, everybody. I am past saying Merry Christmas. I guess it's time to start saying Happy New Year. But this is the time for all of you Medicare participants to actually start to really get it together, wind down from AEP and get it together for next year. And hopefully this is what you're planning to do. We're a little bit late in planning for next year because next year will be here in 4 days, 3 days. But it's never too late to start. You have to start someplace. So did everyone get the emails with everything in it that you're going to need for the course? And I see that Mary Lou has her hand up. You have a question, Mary Lou? No? No
I got
question?
the goal setting cheat sheet, Miss Faye. Was there anything else you sent us besides that?
Yes, I sent last night the agenda for today's course.
All right, hold on, let me check.
I'm gonna pull it up on the screen,
Okay.
Luan, so you'll be
Okay.
able to see it anyway. Okay, can everyone see my screen? I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So this is day one of a 4-day course. So we're starting today. We will be going through Tuesday, and it's all about planning your Medicare sales year round. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at first, what does an annual plan look like? Why should you have an annual plan? When should you actually do your annual plan? We'll define a goal. Planning requires an ultimate end result, so you need a goal. We'll break that goal down into the Medicare enrollment periods, and then we'll identify the time commitment that you have to make sure that your goal actually meets what you have committed to do. Everything that you do in your business is an individual commitment. So we will be looking at what it is you're setting your goal to do and what you are actually committing to do to see if those two align. We'll also talk about December, which we're in, and what you should be planning to do for December. And then we'll wrap up with some questions and answers and your assignment for tomorrow. So let's go back up to the top. The first thing we're going to talk about is, what does an annual plan look like? Now, because we all know the calendar year runs from January to December, but in the Medicare world, it's a little bit different. And I hope that you realize that, because the difference is when you're working in the AEP, October 15th to December 7th, you're actually working on your sales for the next calendar year. So the very first part of your annual planning if you're Medicare, if you're doing Medicare products, you're going to be actually working during October, November through December 7th, just to start the sales that you will have for January 1 of the next year. So if you were looking to sell 100 applications during the calendar year, it is very, very possible that you will be doing 40 to 50% of that business during that AEP. Many, many agents do more than 40 to 50% of their business during AEP. Why? Because during AEP, everybody has an opportunity to change. This is not something new. I'm not telling you something that you don't already know, but be aware of what I'm telling you so that you can utilize every time frame that you have to book your business. So even though we're going into January, and we will be talking about the action steps that you will be taking in January to start to create business opportunities for 2023, you have already sold what you're going to sell with your January 1 effective dates, most of you. For some of us, we have special election periods. So we have right up until December 31st to sell January 1 effectives. But for most of you here today, you've worked the AEP, you know right away what your sales are starting out for 2023. Now, why should you even do an annual plan? It's important to do an annual plan because if you're going to work year round in this business, you need to know where your lulls will be and where your peaks will be. You will learn that over time. There will be different enrollment periods, and there are certain insurance professionals who only work during AEP. They don't even touch Medicare throughout the year. When you get to that point, you're golden. If you want to be at that point, then you've got to work to get there. But will you please mute your selves? Thank you so much. We're being recorded, so I just need to make sure that everyone is muted. CJ, will you mute your phone, please? Thank you. As you are planning your annual plan, this is how you will know what your residual income is. Why are you doing Medicare business? You're doing Medicare business because you're looking for an income that's going to come into you as a renewal year after year after year. So you need to plan for what that income needs to be. If you're writing 100 applications during 1 year, 1 calendar year, your average income, speaking only from a renewal standpoint, is going to be about $30,000. That's key. 100 applications and renewals during the next year is going to mean for you about $30,000 for the year. So if you do that 1 year and then you do 100 applications the next year, now, and I'm not the smartest math person, but I know that 30,000 and 30,000 is 60,000. So every year that residual income can grow. That's not to say that you're not going to have people who will fall off, people who will die, people who will change plans and don't tell you. But the steps that you take as an insurance professional will allow you to maintain 95 to 98% of your book of business. That's the goal that you should be shooting for. If you have retention of less than 95%, then you need to look at some procedures and processes for following up with your existing customers. Now, when should you start to plan? Obviously, if the AEP is the one that produces most of your business for January, we're going to follow a calendar year progression, but December, when you're done with AEP, after December 7th, you should actually be planning your OEP activities. At this point, you should really be planning OEP. Since we're starting this at this point with only 4 days left, the first 2 weeks of January, you may be in the process of actually planning what your sales activities will be for the OEP. Now, planning is a word that I've thrown around, and it's, part of the title of the course. Everybody knows what planning means, and proper planning prevents poor performance, and you hear planning all the time, but what are you planning for? If you do not have a goal, what are you planning for? So the first step in your planning process for year-round sales in Medicare is to realistically set a goal. You need an end result to which you are planning. You're planning to do 100 sales in 2023. You're planning to do 50 sales in 2023. You're planning to do 200 sales. Whatever that goal is, you need to set that goal. So now I'm going to switch over because I sent out to you a goal sheet that we're going to look at. As soon as I find it, and I know that it's here. Did everybody get their goal sheet? The Medicare year-round goal sheet master? In the
Yes.
email?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, so I'm going to go back and share my screen. Let me just take a moment, make sure there's no one in the waiting room. Okay, this is what the goal sheet looks like. So each of you got this sheet. How many of you have already looked at it and started to prepare a goal in your mind for 2023? just put yes in the chat box if you've already worked on it. If you're working on it, just indicate you're working on it. If you haven't started it, indicate you haven't started it. Wherever you are, let us know what you've done so far. So I see a couple started on it. Yes, yes, working on it. Yes, yes, yes. That's great. So that means that at least you have a basis to start. You are going to start with, and I thought this would be a great place for those of you who have worked AEP or have worked Medicare sales before 2022, go back to 2021. What were your sales in 2021? Start with that number. Let's say that number was 30, and that was your first year. In 2022, now that we're almost finished with the 2022 sales, what were your sales for 2022? Add that number to the 30 sales from 2021. Now you know what your book of business should look like. Now that you know what your book of business should look like, where is it that you want to be for 2023? But set a goal for 2023 that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and the timeline, of course, is going to be the 12 months of 2023. So you can do whatever you put your mind and your time and your resources to doing. But for each of you, the answers to these 3 questions, what did you do in 21? What did you do in 22? What do you expect to do in 2023? Should be different. It will be different for many reasons. It will be different for some of you because you work full-time on another job. It will be different for others because you have other businesses. It will be different for some of you because Medicare sales is only part-time for you. So based on if you're working full-time, part-time, or you have mother duties, father duties, parenting duties, you have a full-time job, you can only work on the weekend, you can only work during the week after work. Based on all of those things that personally are your commitments, how will you commit your time to doing the Medicare business? And be honest with yourself. If you know that you're working full-time, you are not going to be able to spend enough time conducting 4 Medicare Advantage appointments 5 days a week. You will not have the time. So how many will you be able to do? If you have lead generation resources in place, and if you have them all planned out so that everything begins to work simultaneously for you, then you're eventually going to have a system that will work for whatever time you're going to spend in your business. Remember, it's your business. You set the time. Question, am I talking about MAPD sales? I'm talking about Medicare sales. If you do Medicare supplements, you could do those year round at any time. But MAPD sales are the only ones that are geared and governed by the enrollment periods. So you can be doing Medicare supplements. You're actually, as a Medicare insurance professional, going to offer your customer whichever program works better for them. So it could be a Medicare supplement, but this is geared towards enrollment periods, and enrollment periods that are set by CMS only apply to Medicare Advantage and prescription drug benefits. The next question in your goal setting activity is, what is the specific number of customers or number of Medicare sales you expect for 2023? Now, you may think this is so elementary. Why is she putting us through this? Why am I asking you to do this? Why am I asking you to consider these questions? Because many of you answered the question on what you expected your goal to be with answers that were not specific. You had no number. You had no time frame. You had no way of measuring what you were going to do. So your goal was unrealistic. To have a realistic goal, you need to have a number. It needs to be something that you can see, something that you can measure, something that you can keep track of. So, will 2023 be a turning point in your Medicare career? If you're expecting that 2023 is going to be the year that puts you over the hurdle of where you want your business to be, then ask yourself, how will that happen? And as we go through this course, you're going to have activities, you will have resources. We'll actually cover some specific activities like the top ones that can generate lead sources for you. And you will have to decide based on where you are, what the demographics are in the area that you're working, the type of business that you want, how fast you want your business to grow. It will be your decision as to how you will go about making 2023 a turning point. Do we have any questions? You can open your mic and ask questions if you have questions, or you can ask them in the chat. Thank you. This is a great worksheet. This worksheet is one that is easy to follow. There are only really 3 questions, but they're real serious questions in order for you to place yourself in the right mindset, in the right perspective, to know what you are capable of doing for 2023. Now, I'm going to go away from this for just a second to say that even though I'm saying it's what you will commit and what you can do, what you can actually produce in your business and in and in your area, understand that once you set this goal for 2023, you will go through those enrollment periods that we're going to cover, and you may need to shift or change the things that you're doing. But I can assure you, you will have enough choices to work with so that you can try 2 or 3 different ways of approaching it. And if it doesn't work for you, change it. You're not married to everything that you receive. You can change and adjust. It is your business. Why did you want to be in business for yourself? So that you can make decisions about what you do, and so that you will be in control of what your income is, so that you would have unlimited income potential. So to work towards that, you make those decisions. And when you find that the horse is slowing down, jump off and move to a faster horse. Don't continue to drag along with a dead horse to the end of the race, because then you are not bettering yourself or your position where you are in your business. Let's look at number 2, define the goal. Planning requires an ultimate end result. So this is what we've done. Looking at that goal sheet, you're now ready, you should be ready to define your goal for 2023. By day 4, you will be able to select activities that you think will work better for you to work. The same things may not work for everybody, and no one thing works all the time. Just remember, you know, it's not a one time thing. You'll be doing different things and you'll have different ideas, and you can take those same ideas and be creative. Think of ways that you can actually generate business for yourself. Step 3 is we're going to break the goal down into the Medicare enrollment periods. So we're going to start today with OEP. Let me show you what you might be thinking about for OEP. Okay, I will share my screen again. This is an OEP checklist. So these are the things that you need to be concerned with doing at the end of December, beginning of January, to set up your activities for OEP. Does everybody know when OEP is? Do a 1 if you know when the OEP is, a 2 if you don't, a 3 if you're not sure. Do that in the chat for me, please. I got a smart group. I got a very smart group. Everybody knows when the OEP is. It is January 1 to March 31. So it's going to be here really, really soon. So you don't want to wait. And this is why it's annual planning. You do not want to wait until the middle of February to start to plan what you're going to do in January. Now, these are minimum suggestions, but based on the number of sales that you have placed in your goal, the numbers of events, the numbers of activities may be different. This is just a minimum. So for OEP, on your OEP checklist, you're going to book at least one event every month. What's an event? Does anybody have any idea what an event might be? Has anyone ever done an event? Have you ever worked an event? What's an event? Bingo at a senior center. Very good. Medicare 101. Something to get in front of people. 101s. Okay, those are all events. Yes. Now, where do you find events? If you have not been accustomed to setting up events and you don't have regularly scheduled places where you're going to go to set up an event, then you need to look at something like Eventbrite. Put in the city, put in activities, senior activities, or adult activities. Look for fairs and festivals, events, craft fairs, any kind of an event where people will be attending. It is not always necessary for you to create the event and then drive the people to the event. It is also possible for you to attend or participate in an event that someone else is offering or sponsoring, and you might be a vendor or you just might be an attendee. Your purpose in being there is to gather names, meet people, the same thing that you would do if you were doing bingo. The same thing that you would do if you were doing an Education 101. Your ultimate purpose is to get someone's name. There are many, many activities and events that you can do. And tomorrow we're going to go over some specific events, how to do them, how to conduct them, how to get the most out of the event. But just remember that you don't always have to create the event. You can participate in an event that is already created. There may be church fairs. There may be senior ministries at churches. Find one event per month. Now remember, we're doing OEP. So you're going to find an event, and it may be the same event that you repeat for February and March, but find one event. We'll talk more also tomorrow when we talk about the events on the questions that you need to ask. If it's someone else's event, about participation and what their experiences have been. You want to plan a minimum of 2 lead generating activities a week. Those lead generating activities can be anything from an hour or two at a doctor's office, an hour or two at a dentist's office, a food giveaway. There are a lot of activities, and again, we will be delving into specific activities in day 2. But plan at least 2 of those per week. Now, this is geared more or less if you are working full-time. If you're not working full-time, obviously these numbers will not be the same. And then if you want your business to grow more aggressively, you might plan a lead generating activity 3 days a week. Meet 2 new ambassadors per week. An ambassador is the person who is going to be able to send you referrals. So that could also be a referral partner. Referral partners for Medicare sales are the people who are in business for themselves, but not necessarily in Medicare business. So, Faye, what do you mean by that? It means that referral partner could be a property and casualty agent who is licensed for life and health, but does not do Medicare. It could be a life insurance agency or brokerage that does life insurance and annuities, and they don't do Medicare. It could be an estate planning attorney or an organization that helps with estate planning, but they don't sell insurance. It could be anyone who is in contact with the customer that you want to meet. So that customer can be referred to you by someone else. You want to organize the times that you're going to work every week, plan a time, and Sunday evenings has always worked well for me to plan my week in advance. So I've planned my week on Sunday evening. I know basically when I'm going to work during the week and where I'm going to work during the week. Organize your time around what other things you need to get done. Organize your time around your home activities, your family activities, your children's soccer games, your church activities, or anything else that you need to do. Some of you will be organizing your time around your full-time job. Now, the next 3 things here are very, very important for you to do. You've got to have a business card, and it's got to be simple. It's good to have your picture, but if it doesn't have your picture, that's okay. But it needs to be simple. In other words, it needs to be able for someone to hold the card, know that it's you, and how to get in touch with you. That's what the business card does. You can use a paper card or you can use a digital card. But just make sure that you have some type business card that tells someone who you are and how to get in contact with you. You're in business for yourself now. And even though this is not a business course, I'd like to remind you that it is your business. So you need to be identified by your business. If you're still hiding behind the fact that you don't want people to see your face, and you don't want them to have your telephone number, and you don't want them to have your email, you are not going to have a good business, because nobody will know how to get in touch with you. Every email that you send should have a signature that has your name, your company name, your telephone number, how to reach you. It is frustrating, to say the least, to receive an email from somebody and they just assume the only way that you want to respond is to click reply. What if 6 months later, somebody wants to be in touch? Every email that you have should have your business contact information in the signature. Every email provider has the mechanisms within the system for you to get that signature, put that signature. I am guilty of having 4 different emails, but I check all 4 of them. If you're using one email here and another email there, and you got more than one email, you need to be checking all of them. Check all of your emails, because if you send an email or you use an email, the person may respond to you in that email. So just make it a habit in the morning. If you have to get up an hour earlier to do your admin work, check all of your emails. Get RAT cards. The RAT cards or a brochure is something that tells more about you and your business and what you do. The little business card is only but so large. So if you try to cram everything about you on that card, it's going to be too busy. The person's going to throw it away. Take the time to prepare for yourself RAT cards or a trifold brochure that lets people know who you are and what you do. Start to brand your business. Part of your planning has to be that you are planning to meet as many new people as possible. Are there any questions about your OEP checklist and what you should be doing to plan for a successful OEP? Love this RAT card idea. Most people know I do Medicare, but have no idea I do life insurance and miss sales because of this. You don't want to do that. You want something, often you may be at an event and you're only giving out your RAT card or your brochure. Because you're going to plan for lead generating activities and you're going to book a minimum of 1 event, these are the tools that you're going to need to have handy every month so that you can do those activities and pass out those cards. How many of you have heard those, this old sales technique where the person takes 10 cards, 10 business cards a day, and they say they're not coming back home until they've given out those 10 cards? Have you ever heard that before? Okay, some of you do. That's great. That is wonderful. And that's not a bad idea. When you know that it's a day that you're going out and you're going to see people who are in your target market, have your 10 cards in your pocket and have them ready to give out. Don't be shy about passing out your business card. This is all a part of planning ahead. You've got to have a good supply. So put this on your list of things to do this week, no later than next week, to have a good supply of business cards. If you haven't created one, go ahead and create one, or a rack card. Are you looking for, I'm not sure what you're looking for. Are you looking for a sample business card and a sample rack card? Do you need a sample? There probably is a rack card, and I'm not sure that the printers call a rack card what we call a rack card. Maureen says she made her rack card on Canva. So those of you who use Canva, you can certainly do it there. And she printed it at Vistaprint. So you can, the only thing that I can do, and there are some of you on here who know how difficult it is for me to find mine because it's on a jump drive, but I can certainly give you what I use. I don't have a red card. I use a trifold and a business card, and I also use a digital business card. So I'll make myself a note to send you samples of my trifold and business card. At one point I had a business card and it had all this information on it, and it was annoying for me to watch it. So my business card right now is really very simple. Just has my picture, my name, and my telephone number. Any other comments, any other questions before we move? Okay, this OEP checklist will be sent to you as a download. How many of you took a picture of it already? But you will get this as a tool for you to keep, so you'll have an idea. But just remember, it's a checklist, but you will change the numbers based on what your goal might be. So you will actually get the OEP checklist. And as we go through the rest of the year, you'll have checklists for the time frames and when you're supposed to do certain activities. That's what the planning is about. Fiverr, Canva, and Vistaprint all have great samples of rack cards and brochures. You can get great ideas from realtor concepts and medical provider workups you will find on those sites. So thank you so much for letting everyone know. Okay, let's me stop share and go back to okay, we were at step 3 for today. So moving right along. I have such a smart group. This is great. You guys are really wonderful. We'll go right into step 4. We'll talk a little bit more about identifying your time commitment. This is all about you and your business. If you want your business to grow by a certain number, then you have to put in the time to get that done. So typically, if you are a full-time, and this is to give you a basis, if you are a full-time Medicare insurance professional, your goal is to have 3 to 4 appointments per day, 5 days a week. And of those 3 to 4 appointments, you should expect to close 50 to 60%. And the reason it's not 80, 90, or 100% is because not all of those people will be eligible now that AEP is over. Does that make sense? Remember, during AEP, everybody's eligible to change. During OEP, not everybody is eligible to change. So I'm going to ask you, because you are such a smart group, who is eligible to change during the OEP? Which Medicare beneficiaries can change their plans during OEP? MAPD to MAPD, yes. MAPD or MA customers, yes. But these same customers, MAPD and MA customers, can also go back to original Medicare and get a PDP without penalty. They don't have to change to a Medicare Advantage plan. However, it's not a guarantee that they will be able to have a Medicare supplement. So the people that you're going to be looking for, the prospects that you will be trying to find during January, February, and March, are those who have an MAPD. And here are some suggestions for the ones that you should look for. First of all, before this year is over, before December 31st, if you have permission to call slips that you received during AEP, and there were people that you spoke with who did not seem to be able to make a decision right away, and they did not make a decision to have you write a different plan for them, give them a call renew your permission to call and just leave it open that you can be able to follow up with them next month. We cannot market OEP as an opportunity for Medicare beneficiaries, but you know, as insurance professionals, it is always safe to say you may have an opportunity to look at this again. May I give you a call back? You renew a permission to call by calling them before the permission to call expires, and you say, you may have an opportunity to look at this again. Is it okay if I call you after the holidays? Yes, you may. Or no, I'm all set, don't call me. So you will know how to handle it. Does that answer your question? So start with those people. If you have anyone who you're not sure, they were not sure what they were going to do, and they did not make a decision with you, then renew your permission to call with them. And the question in the chat is, how long does the permission to call last? It depends on when you get it. If you got it only for AEP, it ended at AEP. But if you got it for 90 days, 30 days, then that's the period of time. So always be cautious if someone says to you, okay, you can call me. Be specific about when you're going to call them so that they understand when you're going to call. They're giving you their permission then to call at that time. So some people are not going to be eligible to change during OEP. So this is a person you're going to say, unfortunately, you don't have an opportunity to change, but I would like to be in touch with you next AEP. May I have your permission to contact you then? What do you say to someone when you call during OEP in order to be compliant? Why are you calling them? If you're calling them because you're following up to the conversation that I just had, hello, Maureen, we talked during AEP and your doctor wasn't in network, so you were a little bit undecided, and I'm not sure if you want to look at this again. Would it be okay if I call you next month after the holidays? Because you may still have an opportunity to change.
Thank you, Faye.
You're welcome. I'm not so sure. I mean, it all depends on how you work your business. If a customer, if you are my Medicare Advantage customer, I'm going to follow up with you because you are my customer. And I don't need any special permission to call you because you are my customer. However, I am not going to call you to see if you want to go to a Medicare supplement. Definitely not. Not for my business. I would not broach that subject. I am always able to tell someone who goes to a Medicare Advantage plan for the first time, either an IEP or someone who is changing during AEP, during the first 12 months, if you are not satisfied, by all means, give me a call and let's find out what the issue is, because during those 12 months, you can go back to a Medicare supplement or you can take a Medicare supplement. But I would not initiate the conversation of, remember, you're in your first 12 months of an MAPD. Do you want to go back to original Medicare? I probably would not do that. Another way that you can find the people to contact during, excuse me, the OEP would be if you have provider relations opportunities, because people go into their doctor's office, either the doctor's not satisfied with the plan they've chosen, or they're not satisfied with the plan that they've chosen. And that creates an opportunity during open enrollment to change them back. Make sure that your provider offices are aware that there may be an opportunity. Remember and listen carefully how I'm saying this. There may be. You cannot promise anyone anything. And that's why when you do a Medicare Advantage application, it says proposed effective date. Although you know when the effective date will be, it is proposed until Medicare approves it. So use the word may and use it very strongly so that nothing falls back on you. You said that this would happen. You said that would happen. You said this is what will work. May. Is that clear? So we've gotten our time commitment down. Has everybody thought very, very carefully about how you want to work? And there's no right or wrong answer, but you've got to plan it. You must plan what days you're going to work, how you're going to work, and what you're going to get out of the days that you do work. And for everybody, it will be different. So do your goal sheet. That is your day 2 assignment. That goal sheet needs to be completed tomorrow when we start class. This is December. What should we be planning now? We should be planning to set our goal, to start to implement the activities and the events that we need to meet that goal. I know that all of you are very, very smart, but what are your questions about setting your goal and how you're going to go about meeting your goal?
Well, for me, I'm going to learn how to use that Eventbrite thing that you always use, Miss Faye, to try to find some activities already been generated in my area, in my community.
That's a good choice, Lawan. You know, I found too, because I go in there and I'm not sure if I set up favorites or not, but now I get emails from Eventbrite when there is an event similar to ones that I have checked on or registered for in the past.
Okay,
So
I'm trying
that's
to
a
look into
good
that.
idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Once you start working with it. And I don't know if it's because I set up events in Eventbrite as well, but I just noticed that I start to get events, mostly business events.
Okay.
Does anyone have any struggles with actually setting your goals for 2023? Do you have a number in mind? Do you have a number of sales? Do you have a number of new customers? Do you have a number? Do you have any, do you foresee any areas that's going to be difficult for you to set the goal? Because for us to plan for the goal, we got to have something that we're planning for. It's just www.eventbrite.com, but put the bright with the event. I think it's one word. And then when you go into Eventbrite, you can say what state, what town, what zip code you want to find events, where you want to find events. When's the fair in Texas? When's the Texas State Fair?
It's the end of September, beginning of October, roughly.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I had that right. End of September, beginning of October-ish.
Well,
Runs-
there are carriers that have agents working the fair. Now think about it. Texas State Fair, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's all
Mhm.
week long. Is it one
Mhm.
week or two?
It's about
but-
3, almost
Yeah,
a
it's
whole
a
month.
lot. And thousands and thousands. Kids get out of school to go to this.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity. And if you can get with the carrier, ask them if they have a booth for the state fair. And you're able to plug yourself in for 4 hours there. That's great. That's an event. That's one that you wouldn't have to pay for because the carriers paid good money to be there, but they need somebody there to man the booth.
And Faye, what would you say to the people that walk up to you at the booth, just off the top of your head?
Hi. Is this the first time you're at the state fair?
Yes,
Okay, role play with me.
yes.
It is. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? This is my first time here too. Do you live near here?
I do. I just moved to Texas.
Wow. Well, welcome to Texas.
Thank you.
Texas is so huge, it'll take you at least another 10 years to go through all of Texas. But welcome to Texas. What do you think about our weather?
Oh, I love it. I'm from Chicago. I don't miss that ice and snow at all.
Well, we're going to have some ice. Don't worry. It'll come, but it'll go very quickly. It won't be like Chicago. So
That's
listen, what insurance are you using right now?
For my car, or what do you mean?
No, your health insurance.
Oh, well, I just became Medicare eligible. I came down here to retire.
Oh my goodness. Do you believe that we were supposed to meet today?
I believe it.
Okay. I'm so happy to meet you. My name is Faye. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Cordia. It's like
Well,
Claudia,
cool.
but it's Cordia. Cordia.
Okay. Cordia, listen, I work with several different carriers. And since you are just becoming eligible for Medicare, when did you actually become eligible?
Well, my birthday was last month.
Oh, okay. So November, have you gotten Medicare yet?
Well, I got the red, white, and blue card that came in the mail.
Okay. So listen, you know what? Let's sit down and let me tell you about all of the choices that you have. Because most people think, and trust me, I know, I started in this business 20 years ago when my mother-in-law became eligible, and she thought, oh, when I get my red, white, and blue card, I'm going to be all set, until she realized that that's not the case. So what I'd like to do, if you have a few minutes, I would just like to sit down and tell you what the options are. There's no obligation. What will be better? Would it be better for me to meet you someplace, or would you like to come to my office?
Well, I'm a Starbucks kind of girl, if that's okay.
Oh, Starbucks is great. So is there one near where you're living?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Okay, well, listen, why don't you fill out this form and give me your address, your telephone number, so that I can confirm, and let's plan to get together. Now I'm taking out my phone,
Okay.
okay? Let's plan to get together. Does Monday at 2 o'clock work for you? Or you want to do
It's-
morning since we're at
No,
Starbucks?
2 o'clock is great. I'm retired. I don't move real fast in the morning.
Okay, we'll meet at 2 o'clock. Fill this out for me, please, and I'll be in touch, Cordia. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for stopping and talking with me. That's great.
Listen, I hope you enjoy the fair.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Bye now. Natural.
Melanie says face. Smooth
Natural.
talker.
Natural conversation.
You
Okay.
are Miss Faye.
Oh, no, but that's what it takes. I mean, and you know what? After you do it for a while, it will just come natural. You see, you keep the conversation going about something that has nothing to do with insurance, and then you bring in the insurance bit slowly.
Okay.
So you don't, you don't say, here, I'm selling in Medicare. And so that's what I would do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. I was happy to do that. So are there any other questions? Don't forget, your homework assignment is to have, tomorrow when you come, you need to have a goal. If you don't have a goal for all of 2023, you need to at least have a goal for OEP. And we're going to take that goal, each of your goals, and we're going to break down what you need to do to hit those goals. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Okay, and I am going to send you the OEP checklist and samples of my trifold and business card. Is there anything else that you will need?
Ms. Faye, is this class Monday? I mean, today through Friday? You said something about Tuesday.
Isn't today Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, so today through Friday, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Thank
Say,
you.
I had a quick question. This might be off point. Can you tell me if it is? Are we going to spend any time at all talking about cold calling people? They're giving you a C2C and you're trying to call them on the phone. You really don't know them, because I get an F-. I do well with face-to-face, but calling people on the phone is just, I don't do well with that. Or should I look for
Say
another
the
trainer?
first part again, because you are not supposed to be calling them unless they asked you to.
C2C. I have a C2C to call them. But
Oh, okay.
I got a stack of them because I don't want to call them, because I know I'm not going to do with that. I do better face to face. I don't know how to broach the subject so
How
much.
old are the,
So I got to do an AAP.
okay. Do you have a cell number?
I do.
Text them first.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Remind them that you got, the information, and you just wanted to follow up. So expect a call from you.
Okay.
Just short, sweet, not, don't write a story,
Okay.
something short, sweet. Melanie says, sorry for partial absence, Social Security is sending out Part B premium notices, and I keep getting angry calls because they're saying what I have to pay for. Melanie, but is that because they were on a plan that had a give back last year and you switched them to a plan that doesn't have a give back?
Oh, no, these are just regular people and they send out the notice every year. You know, this is what the Part B premium is, and they think that's for the Medicare Advantage plan. So they're just calling me tripping.
Because I don't usually have anybody calling.
Yeah,
Those are the only people that
Mhm.
call me, the ones who had a give back plan. And I said to them when they changed to a plan like United Healthcare, which has no give back, specifically said you are not going to receive that Part B credit that you've been receiving, so your Social Security check will be less. However, this year you have an 8.7% increase in Social Security, so you may not see that much of a difference. Now, that's the first year I've been able to say that. But those are the only people who call me about, but you just explained it. It's not premium for Humana or Aetna, so that's what you have to tell them.
Yeah, they'd rather call me with the angry voicemail first. But hey, it's all right. It is what. But if any of you get that, then that's what it is. But it's Social Security. I'd actually seen the letter. Social Security Administration Part B premium is $164.90. They think that's for, even though it says Social Security.
Well, the
think it's
other
for them.
thing is when you call them back, start out with the positive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they talk nice when I call them back.
Mr. So and so, that in 2022 the Part B premium was $170?
Yeah,
I bet you didn't even know that, did you? Diffuse the anger with the positive.
that's good.
You'll
Positive.
get it done.
Appreciate you, Faye, as always. Thank you.
No problem. I can always diffuse the situation. Anybody else have any comments, any questions? Okay, does everybody understand? And this is the last time I'm gonna ask you to put something in chat. Put a number 1 in the chat if you understand what your homework assignment is for today. All right. Be prepared to have your goal, because we're going to break it down into what activities and then actually talk about. I'm going to give you the top activities, but you can be creative and work around those, switch them up. Melanie, you had a great idea, I thought, that you mentioned to me. Was it last week that you were thinking about doing? What was it you were thinking about doing?
I don't quite remember right off, but I actually had another idea. And don't share this because I'm only sharing with this small group because I love Faye and you all. If you were with Faye, I'll say it. I actually, and it's working out really good. I bought a hand sanitizer dispenser, like where you put your hand under automatically. And I started going to primary care doctor offices asking, hey, I'll give you, I'll put this free hand sanitizer machine in here. People can use it, but you let me put a sign up here, like a little pull down sign. And they let me. 2 of them have let me do it so far. It only cost me like $40 for the dispenser
Great.
thing. I just thought it was cool.
Now, but do you have to keep it filled?
Yeah, I keep it filled, but I mean, it's cheap. It's
Oh,
hardly
okay.
taking anything. I bought like a little gallon of hand sanitizer, and I don't know, it's like $13, and refill that once every 3 months. I think that's pretty good.
Oh,
Cheaper than
okay.
donuts.
And that's probably a good
Yeah.
idea, because when you go back in there to refill it up, you probably get a chance to chat with people in the office as you're going back in, right?
And I'll even, hey, I'm gonna come back so and fill this up. You mind if I set out a table for a few hours while I'm here? I think it's
See, I wonder where she got that smooth talk from.
You, Miss Faye.
Faye for sure.
So, where'd you get the dispenser from?
Amazon.
Of course.
I forgot what it was called. I could find it. I don't know how long Faye has on here, but it was pretty cheap and it has a plug-in or you can use batteries and they let me plug it in there. So that was good.
I would
But
appreciate the
that's
link
what-
if possible.
That's what I mean. You should take any of the ideas and expand them to what works for you. Doctors, provider offices is one of the activities that we're going to cover because that's one that really you can do year round.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it.
It's in the chat.
All right, Melanie put the Amazon
The dispenser.
link for the
thingamajig.
dispenser in the chat if you want to grab it or take a picture. I'm surprised though. I thought all doctors' offices had sanitizer already.
Oh, some probably do, like up at the desk, but I just thought that was fancy. And I mean, they like it. I guess anytime
Okay.
you're free though, they like that too. But I thought of others like coffee, because a lot of them don't have coffee machines, water dispensers and all, but this was just the cheapest, most economical for me. So I went with it. And there's people who say no. There
Makes
were a lot of people
sense.
that no, but some people said yes. Hey, yeah, put it out in the lobby.
So now you have a box or something there for people to put, or you have your cards there or something for them to get. How are you going to get a return from that?
You're right. I probably should put like a little lockbox up there. I just have the big board up there with the information, like the advertisement, the pull down string, with my information on it, like a big business card. Basically, I didn't even put a Dropbox on there. That's a good idea. I don't think I didn't do it because there was nowhere to put it. I didn't even think about it.
Mm.
I need to put something up there with see, that's why I talk to you.
But you said one of the doctor's offices is going to let you come in so you can actually be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that'll be good too. That might be better. And you don't, when you do those kinds of things, you don't have to be there all day.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. Maybe like Tracy said, maybe put a little piece of Velcro strip up there and and attach something to it.
I don't know about the other carriers, but Aetna has a flyer that has the little tickets with your name and your telephone number at the bottom. You put it up and then you cut and they could tear off one and take it with them. You might do something like that too.
It's Aetna. Okay, I'll look at that. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more questions, you're all set. Your minds are racing. I could tell. You are ready to set those goals. It's going to be something magnificent, but it's going to be something that's doable. You're going to do it because we're going to make sure that you have all the activities to do it. Thank you all. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Faye.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Faye.
You are so welcome.